Okay, this is an alternative way to do the video that I just recorded. This is an alternative way. If that felt too hard and you want to process step by step, this is the way you can also do it. It reinforces the X method. Notice I rewrote the example one in Desmos already, so I can take a peek at it. All right, so we're going to fill in the X, step one and step two. Multiply A times C, 24. Remember that B is on the bottom, 10's on the bottom. What multiplies to 24 and adds to 10? Well, none of those work. So let's try 3. 3 and 8 almost make 10, but that's 11. And then after 3 comes 4. There's our winners, 4 and 6. Okay. Once you fill in your X, you're ready to come down here and fill in these blanks. The 4 and the 6 belong in the middle because 4x plus 6x does add to make 10x. We then need to have our 3x squared right here and our plus 8 here. Okay, I am now going to teach you how to factor trinomials with the GCF in mind. So we're going to group these. We're going to find the GCF of each. I'm going to look at the first parenthesis, 3x squared plus 4x. The GCF is an x. So I'm going to divide by x. That gives me 3x plus x crosses out, 4. I'm going to look at the next set of parentheses and see a 6x plus 8. What does 6 and 8 have in common? A 2. So I'm going to take a 2 out. Divide each by 2. That makes 3x. That makes 4. Now, this is not a coincidence that these should always be identical. So you rewrite your identical parenthesis. And then you rewrite what's left over. The GCF from the first, the GCF from the second. You now have factored it. You can test it into Desmos. Hold on, I forgot the 3. And those two match. You are complete. Rewind it if you need to hear it slower, or just again. All right, I'm going to type in the problem, 2x squared minus x minus 28. I'm going to fill in this x. I'm going to multiply 2 times negative 28 and get negative 56. What multiplies to negative 56 and adds to negative 1? Okay, so I'm just going to have to keep counting here. Oh, I found it. Is it 7 times negative 8 or 8 times negative 7? Which one of those adds to negative 1? You're right. It is a 7 with a negative 8. And you can prove that 7 plus negative 8 is equal to negative 1. All right. Once you get your x filled out, take what we wrote in purple and put it inside of your parentheses. Put it back with x's. Okay, now you're going to take your A and your C and fill in your terms. Now we're going to group and take the GCF out of both. 2x squared and 7x just have an x in common. I'm going to divide both by the GCF. That gives me 2x plus 7. Now I have a negative 8x and a negative 28. So what do those two numbers have in common? So not a negative 8. I bet they have a negative 4 in common. Let's check. If I take out a negative 4, and that means I divide both of these by the GCF, I'm thinking the GCF is negative 4, that would give me 2x plus 7, because a negative and a negative make a positive. So again, how do you know I'm right? These will always be identical. So now we're almost done. What just happened? Now we're going to write what we cross those out, and then write your GCF in your other GCF. Then you can check your answer. 2x plus 7 and x minus 4. Uh-oh, problem. Those don't match. That means I forgot to put the 8. Now they match. So it was a typo on my fault. All right, so now I'm feeling good about that one. Now these, I'm going to say you don't need to do your x. You need to notice that this is a difference of perfect squares. Difference means it's subtraction. Difference, subtraction. I know that 4x squared, here's a list of perfect squares, is a perfect square. 2 times 2 makes 4. X times x makes x squared. So I can break this up as 2x times 2x is 4x squared. Once I break up the 4x squared, which is the a, I'm now going to break up the c. What multiplies to 9? Well, 9 is a perfect square. 3 times 3 is 9. The thing is, this is a negative 9. So one's negative, one's positive. You can check your answer in Desmos. 4x squared minus 9. This is called factored form. And they overlap. Overlap means I got it right. Last example. This is not a difference of perfect squares. It's a perfect square trinomial, means 3 terms. We're going to do it the same way. Our a term is a perfect square. It's right there. So we're going to break it up using the same number and the same variable. You'll notice our c term is also a perfect square. It's right there. We're going to break that up with 5 and 5. Once we do that, we look at the sign right here. This is a positive sign. This is a positive sign. So I know a positive needs to go in both parentheses. Remember, 5 times 2 is 10. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 plus 10 is 20. I'm feeling good about that. The only thing I'm going to have to say is we have the same parenthesis written twice. So I can just rewrite it like that. Final answer. I will type that in. 4x squared plus 20x plus 25. 2x plus 5 squared. And they overlap. Okay, even if you didn't put it like that, you could still rewrite it like this. It's still going to overlap. It's the same thing. But remember on the STAR test, it will not have it in this form. It'll have it with it squared and not written twice. All right, thanks for watching the alternative way to factor when A is not 1. Peace out.